about Marina Mabrey assaulting Caitlin Clark last night, and her team pretty much justifying it. One thing I can tell you for sure is that now the WNBA has broken their silence about the assault and about everything that transpired. This is what they had to say. Let's pull it up. It stated that Marina Mabrey technical foul from last night's Fever game has been upgraded to a flagrant 2. The league told ESPN a flagrant 2 comes from a standard fine. Additionally, Sophie Cunningham was fined separately for her hard foul with 46 seconds left to play, and no player will be suspended.
Just when it seemed like the WNBA drama couldn't get any worse, things took another wild turn. Marina Mabrey jumped in with a strong response, and she didn't come quietly. She came prepared, sharing her side and throwing some serious shade. Now the league is considering a 3-game suspension, treating it like a major crisis. And all of this started because Sophie Cunningham refused to just stand by and do nothing while things got heated. Get ready, this situation is full of drama and attitude, both on and off the court.
So Marina Mabrey has responded to everything that's going on in my opinion, the best way possible. In my opinion, the best way possible. Like, this is what players need to realize. Like, when they it is a better thing to just take the high road in any scenario.
Marina Mabrey didn't just respond, she stepped right into the drama with confidence and frustration written all over it. While the WNBA huddled up, debating whether to hand her a 3-game suspension, you'd think she'd taken out the commissioner herself. But really, Marina was just done with the nonsense and decided to speak up, and this talk of a possible suspension? It's a strange look for the league, trying to look in control by threatening penalties, while the real issue gets swept aside. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham ends up being the example of what happens when you try to stand up for a teammate. The whole situation feels less like discipline and more like damage control gone sideways.
You don't have to touch her. But you trying to swat like you're LeBron James, it's not safe, man. It's not safe. Come on, fam. This is why you're getting called a dirty player. Because you're playing out of control. Even when you're guarding up somebody, you get to hacking dribblers, the ball handler. You get to hacking them. You get to slapping their arms when they get the ball. Even Kate Martin ended up pointing at you during a rival. Like, why you're not gonna call this ref? She's slapping the heck out of me. You have to control yourself.
The irony here is hard to miss. Marina Mabrey's real offense? Refusing to play along in what's starting to feel like a sports soap opera. And yet, she's the one under review. Meanwhile, things are getting physical on the court, elbows flying like it's dodgeball tryouts, and the refs look totally lost. Marina's response? Smart, sharp, and with just the right mix of humor and heat. She came prepared, not just with facts, but with the energy of someone who's seen enough and isn't afraid to say it. If the league really wants something worth filming, maybe it's not the games, it's the fallout. Because at this point, the disciplinary committee is getting more airtime than most of the players.
As we've seen, Sophie Cunningham making sure she's even more loved or hated. We've seen Angel Reese trademarking me bounds, which I still think is genius. The best thing to do is play around with the joke. Like, if you see a joke on your name, try to turn it into a positive thing and then try and monetize off it. But Marina Mabrey commented on TikTok about the whole situation, and this is what she said. Every time they comment, I make dollars. And I mean, I don't think she's wrong.
Let's be honest, Marina Mabrey's not wrong. And we all know if Caitlin Clark had reacted the way Marina did, she would have been out of the arena before the whistle stopped echoing. They'd have ejected her, fined her, and maybe even booked her a seat at a sensitivity seminar, all in the same afternoon. She'd be branded a threat to the league for simply standing her ground. Meanwhile, the real troublemakers? They're landing sponsorships and public praise like they just cured a global crisis. This isn't just a double standard, it's a full-blown hypocrisy parade, and we're all pretending it makes sense. Why is it like this?
We knew the WNBA old guard, the Monica McNutts, the Natalie Esquires, we knew they were going to have some nonsensical takes after what took place last night. Between Sophie Cunningham putting JC Sheldon in a nice clinch, between Marina Mabrey running downhill like a safety in the NFL, from the dust-ups between Caitlin Clark and JC Sheldon, Marina Mabrey swinging, spinning back fist on Aaliyah Boston that didn't get called. We knew that the slows, shout out to you 360, we knew that the slows would have something foolish to say.
Someone really needs to check the refs, because right now, vending machines are showing more consistency than WNBA officiating. It's like someone walked into a Foot Locker, handed out whistles, and said, "Congrats, you're now in charge of right and wrong on the court." Turns out, wearing stripes doesn't come with a rulebook, or much common sense, apparently. At this point, it's hard to tell if we're watching basketball or some kind of improv show fueled by confusion. One player gets knocked into next week, and the ref just stares into space like they're trying to remember if they left the stove on. Then someone barely sneezes near a vet, bam, technical foul. Blink wrong? That's a flagrant. Crack a smile? Ejection. But catch an elbow to the face? Oh, let's spend 7 minutes reviewing it and still get the call wrong. Honestly, they might as well swap the replay center with a magic 8 ball, it'd probably get more right, and through all of this chaos, Sophie Cunningham held her ground, both literally and figuratively. She didn't flinch. She didn't escalate. She stood firm like a calm voice in a room full of shouting. She had every chance to react, and believe me, it would have gone viral in a heartbeat. But instead, she showed restraint and focus, like someone raised on Midwestern values and sheer determination.
Here we go. Every time Caitlin plays. Look, Oregon. Now look at Marina. The jealousy gotta stop. Look at this. Now watch Marina. Ridiculous. Look, this girl pokes her in the eye. Like Dejanay Carrington did. Now watch Marina. She got to go. Man, look, the jealousy has to stop. Now listen, I like Marina, but she got to go. That is ridiculous. And then the other girl, I don't even know her name. She poked Caitlin right in the eye.
Just when we thought the WNBA couldn't get any messier, it did. Marina Mabrey stepped into the chaos, not quietly, but with precision and purpose, clearly tired of the noise and more than ready to speak up. And instead of being heard, she's now under league review, like she just body-slammed the commissioner. Her real offense? Not playing the role of passive bystander in someone else's mess. Meanwhile, the league is talking suspensions like it's a national crisis. And at the center of it all is Sophie Cunningham, who refused to back down when things got heated, and somehow she's the one getting tossed. Let's be real, if Caitlin Clark had done what Marina did, she would have been ejected, fined, and probably sent to some sort of media training all in the same afternoon. She'd be branded a problem for daring to show some backbone. Meanwhile, the real instigators? They're getting sponsorships and social media love like they just ended world hunger. This isn't just a double standard, it's a full-blown hypocrisy parade with confetti made of bad calls. And speaking of calls, can someone please explain what's going on with the officiating? We've got more consistency from vending machines. It's like the league walked into a Foot Locker, handed out whistles, and said, "You're in charge now." One player gets shoved halfway into next week, and the ref just stares into space. But let someone breathe too hard near a vet and, boom, technical foul. Blink wrong? Flagrant. Smirk? Ejection. Take a legit elbow to the face? Let's review it for 7 minutes and still get it wrong. It's hard to believe this is professional basketball and not a live taping of whose call is it anyway, and yet, through all of this, Sophie Cunningham held her ground. She had every reason to snap. She could have gone full Mortal Kombat and no one would have blamed her. Instead, she stood tall, locked in, and let her presence speak louder than any punch ever could. That's not just restraint, that's Olympic-level self-control. And what's her reward? Getting tossed like she started the fight. Make it make sense. You can't say you're empowering athletes and then punish the one who showed actual strength, not through violence, but through poise. Meanwhile, Sheldon, yes, that Sheldon, comes charging in like she's filming the opening scene of her own superhero movie. No cape, no storyline, just pure chaos. And she gets to stay in the game. It's like watching someone save a cat from a tree and then getting fined for not wearing a helmet. Sophie didn't flinch. She didn't fold. She was the calm in the storm. And somehow, the storm gets a pat on the back while she takes the walk of shame. And let's not pretend this is a one-time thing. Caitlin Clark has been getting hit like she's in a demolition derby. Elbows, shoves, blindsides, you name it. And every time, the refs act like they've suddenly lost their glasses. This isn't just about one moment, it's a pattern. A pattern of rewarding chaos and punishing control. Of turning real leadership into a problem, and letting reckless aggression slide with a shrug. At some point, the league's going to have to decide, are you protecting the game, or just playing favorites?
It says fines are on the way for a number of Fever and Sun players following Tuesday night's game. The cost of each serves as another stark reminder of the league's low salaries. Low salaries, man. Let's see here. Hopefully we ain't got to pay for this thing, man. Front office be on some other stuff with their articles.
But let a player flinch the wrong way, and it's game over. That whistle comes out faster than a toddler grabbing candy. So when people wonder why tensions are rising, why players are starting to snap back, maybe start with the obvious. The officiating has the structure of a bowl of jelly. No one's asking for perfection. Just a little consistency. A rulebook that doesn't shift mid-game depending on who's on the court. Because right now, the whole vibe feels less like a professional league and more like a backyard barbecue with surprise refs. You never know what the next call will be, but odds are, it's going to be wrong. And let's be honest, if Caitlin Clark had reacted to Sheldon the way Marina did, with even a spark of pushback, she'd be trending for all the wrong reasons. Not passionate, not assertive, nope. She'd be labeled emotional, out of control, maybe even a liability. Meanwhile, Sheldon charges across the court like a cartoon bulldozer, and somehow, it's just part of the game. If inconsistency were a strategy, the league would be undefeated. These referees don't need a workshop. They need a boot camp. A crash course in basic observation would be a good start, because right now, it seems like they're struggling with object permanence. The bar is so low it's underground, and somehow, they're still tripping over it. Wearing a striped shirt doesn't make you wise. At this point, we might get better results by letting the fans vote on fouls from the stands, or just hand the whistle to someone who can at least follow what's happening.
So lads, Marina Mabrey has started. Marina Mabrey, Sophie Cunningham. I don't even know. I don't even know who started all this. I really don't, don't know who started this whole thing, but it's caused World War CC. How many? There's been about 17 World War CCs at this stage, but if you guys didn't see, Marina Mabrey yesterday, what ended up happening was, again, one of the most viral clips in WNBA history.
Sophie Cunningham clearly shows better judgment than anyone blowing a whistle right now. There's a lot of talk about growing the league, getting more fans, and creating compelling storylines. Here's a simple idea: stop ejecting your heroes. Stop punishing the players who actually show leadership and self-control. Sophie stood up, not just for her teammate, but for a principle. She didn't throw punches or lash out. She stood calm, strong, and poised, and still got treated like the problem. The league could have made a story about courage under pressure, about control in the middle of chaos. Instead, they're busy suspending people for the smallest things and giving the real troublemakers all the airtime. If that's the message, don't be surprised when players choose silence over solidarity, or worse, when they stop caring altogether. Sophie deserves a round of applause, maybe even her own statue, arms crossed, eyes locked, no drama, just quiet strength. It was the most graceful no since someone refused pineapple on pizza. And the fact she got ejected for that? That's the real foul, and don't fool yourself, this chaos isn't just happening on the court. The Suns coach isn't just watching from the sidelines, they're the architect of this bumper car style of play. When your team starts acting like they're in a rugby match, you don't ask what went wrong. You ask who taught them this.
It was all about the officiating, and I can't say that it is easy to be a referee, especially in the WNBA, or especially in the WNBA right now when it has been turned on its head last season with the induction of Caitlin Clark to the league. It has, I don't even know, 10, 15 times more eyes than it used to. And believe me, the statistics all show that most of the eyes do go towards one team. So I think the officiating towards this one team definitely is going to have to be very closely monitored and made sure that it is called as fairly as possible.
This isn't random. It's planned. The elbows, the shoves, the sneaky shoulder checks that miss the ball but catch someone's jaw, that's not happenstance. It's a system. A dirty system, with a playbook that looks less like basketball strategy and more like street rules, and guess where it starts? At the top. You don't get a whole team acting like they're after a bounty on Caitlin Clark's ankles unless someone told them to play that way. When one player shows fire, that's passion. But when an entire team uses body slams and cheap shots as their play style, that's coaching. This isn't a coincidence, it's a tactic. One that treats hard fouls as hustle and dirty tricks as dedication. Inspirational, right? If the goal is to fill SportsCenter's blooper reel and rack up injury timeouts, and then there's the review process, the magical tribunal, that meets after the game and decides maybe some things went a bit too far. Really? Where were these experts during the game? The same plays the on-court ref saw in real time, with every angle on replay, and still couldn't call it right. How do you watch the same replay again and again, see a player almost commit assault, and just say, play on?
So it's really people out here defending Marina Mabrey for Madden hit sticking Caitlin Clark to the floor, saying that she's just protecting her teammate. For one, it involved Caitlin Clark and JC Sheldon. They had their little spiel before that. And then JC Sheldon scratches Clark in the face, then invades her space after that. Clark pushes her away because of that. And then Marina Mabrey comes get involved and Madden hit sticks her to the floor, man. And y'all just like she was protecting her teammate. But then Sophie Cunningham is getting called vile and disgusting for dropping JC Sheldon to the floor and dragging her by the hair. So Sophie Cunningham can't stick up for her teammate, or else it's...
Was the replay screen broken? Were they watching the wrong footage? Maybe someone accidentally switched the feed to an old episode of Ninja Warrior and thought that's what they were refereeing. Because that's the only way to explain the complete lack of logic. The post-game review team spots flagrant fouls, suspensions, ejections, maybe even a war crime or two. Meanwhile, the refs on the court just shrug like they're trying to solve ancient riddles blindfolded. This isn't just a bad call here and there. It's a massive failure, a canyon of mistakes echoing with missed calls and zero accountability. So here's the real question. Why do the refs on the floor get it wrong, but the officials in the back office get it right 24 hours later? Is it a lack of training? A spectacular case of professional blind spots? Or something worse, maybe someone got paid off, maybe a gift card slipped under the table, and suddenly fouls look like regular plays, because that's the only explanation that fits. You can't say it's hard to judge when millions watching from their couches saw the same plays perfectly on the first replay, and let's be honest, if Caitlin Clark had pulled half the moves the Suns did, she wouldn't just be ejected. She'd be kicked out of the league altogether.
Black Klan members that hate white people so much, man. Now they're Marina Mabrey fans. They're like, she's my favorite crash out. So now y'all like white people when another white person does something to the white person that y'all can't stand so much. And then all the women that you see hate on her, most of them are lesbians. They got the little rainbow flag thing on their profiles, hating on Caitlin. Like the hate is so forced, man. And it's like, look, y'all keep saying that basketball's a contact sport. It's not, bro. This is not football. This is not hockey where you can fight, man. There's a reason why when you make contact, it's a foul, it's a flagrant, or you get ejected, man. If y'all want to see violence, go watch